Hello, hello, hello. How are you? Um, we have this topic for the week: power, persuasion, and influence. All right. So we have here the structure. Is going to be we're going to have an introduction to technical vocabulary and level differentiation. We have also a dialogue, teacher versus student, with repetition practice. We also have a practice that is with explanation of the final questionnaire. All right, very good. So today we're going to start with that. If you have any questions, just let me know. And keep in mind that we're going to have the practices and we're going to have the repetitions. We're going to have the practice and the repetitions so that you can repeat and practice and continue to better your fluency in English. All right. So we have this negotiating and convincing vocabulary. So the vocabulary is going to be to agree, to agree, I agree with you, you agree with me, to convince, and also to want. All right, so these three verbs are regular verbs, okay? And also we have to persuade, all right? And this is a regular verb too. To compromise is also a regular verb. To influence is a regular verb too. But keep in mind that the pronunciation is different. For example, want complies with the rule. Okay, what is the rule? Do you remember? If you want, you can ask me to pause the video so that you can answer what is the rule that makes want different compared to agree, to convince, to persuade, to compromise, and to influence. What is the rule in past tense or past participle for this one? All right, if you have the answer and you don't want to stop the video, write it down and tell me the answer later on. Okay? Thank you very much. Please write the answer and tell me at the end of the video. All right, so we're going to exert influence so that we can reach a consensus to sway someone's opinion. Okay? And I'm going to give you the meaning here of every word, and I'm going to give you an explanation over here about what I just said. Okay? All right. So let's go to five sentences. In these sentences, we're gonna repeat once at first, and then we're gonna be repeating it several times later on, afterwards. Okay. So this is gonna be: I am trying to convince my boss. I'm trying to convince my boss. You're trying to convince your boss. All right. I repeated it twice. Sorry. We need to reach a compromise today. Please repeat. Thank you. It is difficult to sway his opinion on this matter. Good. She exerts a lot of influence over the team. Very good. We finally reached a consensus after hours of debate. Very good. So we are going to let's read them again, but we're going to be using different Pronouns. Let's say you are trying to convince my boss. He's trying to convince his boss. They are trying to convince their boss. All right, very good. We need to reach a compromise today. They need to reach a compromise today. I need to reach a compromise today. It is difficult to sway his opinion on this matter. It is difficult to sway my opinion on this matter. It is difficult to sway his opinion on this matter. It is difficult to sway her opinion on this matter. Very good. Let's go to the fourth. She exerts a lot of influence over the team. He exerts a lot of influence over the team. I exert a lot of influence over the team. They exert a lot of influence over the team. Very good. We finally reached a consensus about hours of debate. And sorry, I said about is after. They finally reached a consensus after hours of debate. She finally reached a consensus after hours of debate. Very good. Good job. So we're going to be continuing. We're going to be continuing with this practice, and we need to pay attention to those new words. Right? I'm going to write them down over here, or they're written down here, so that we can continuously, absorb and include them in our vocabulary. We need to include those words in our vocabulary. Okay. So we're going to check also this vocabulary that is pretty important here. Okay, and we're going to be able to express opinions and critiques. Okay, opinions and critiques. So the vocabulary is going to be to think, to say, and also good point, to claim, to argue, fair point. Very good. Let's do these verbs are a little bit more advanced, so please pay attention and try to include them to your vocabulary. It's pretty important to use these verbs in order to communicate whatever you want to communicate, and any idea. If you're, for example, writing something, or if you are describing your own life in the past tenses, that's pretty important, to use new verbs and on a daily basis, or where you're working, where you're studying. The people is going to see that you have a great knowledge of English language. So to assert, to maintain, to validly argue, to play devil's advocate, Vamos a ver estas cinco oraciones. I think we should start now. I argue that we need more time. I'd like to play devil's advocate for a moment. He maintains that the project is viable. You make a compelling argument, but I disagree. You make a compelling argument, but I disagree. Very good. So we're going to be repeating all these sentences in order for us to, get a grasp of all the words, and not to forget. In order not to forget these words, we're going to be repeating them, so that we can, manage these sentences and words to the fullest. To manage them to the fullest. All right. So I think we should start now. We think they should start now. She think we should start now. I think he should start now. Very good. I argue that we need more time. She argues that we need more time. We argue that we need more time. They argue that we need more time. Very good. Good job. Excellent, I would say. I'd like to play devil's advocate for a moment. She'd like to play devil's advocate for a moment. We'd like to play devil's advocate for a moment. Very good. He maintains that the project is viable. She maintains that the project is viable. Viable. I maintain that the project is viable. They maintain that the project is viable. I maintain that the project is viable. You maintain that the project is viable. He maintains that the project is viable. She maintains that the project is viable. You make a compelling argument, but I disagree. You make a compelling argument, but I disagree. I make a compelling argument, but you disagree. He makes a compelling argument, but she disagrees. She makes a compelling argument, but he disagrees. They make a compelling argument, but I disagree. Very good. Awesome. So we're going to be checking now the advanced structure and review. Basically, what we're going to be doing is checking the vocabulary and also repeating these where we're going to be using some new verbs, and these verbs are going to help us create sentences and to talk to other people and to speak very fluently when we make the decision to. So we're going to be speaking fluently when we have the opportunity to. Okay, very good. So keep in mind that I gave you some information at the beginning of the video in regards to the being recording this. I'm gonna be recording this and sending them over to you to your WhatsApp. So the class is gonna be over video, and then I'm gonna be sending it to your WhatsApp so that you can follow and do the homework. And the homework is going to be on Word. So you're gonna see the homework on Word, and on WhatsApp I'm going to send you the links to let's say to these videos, okay? And also I'm gonna send you the links to the games, and I'm going to send you the documents of the Word documents to your WhatsApp, okay? So just notice that, and please don't forget, send me the homework every day. I need your homework Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Every day, I need you to send your homework. Please don't forget that, because if you forget it, then you will not learn as much as you could do. Okay, so all right. All right, so these are the verbs that we're going to be practicing: is to help, to decide, and also this is not a verb, it's just a word, maybe. Okay, so we're going to be using to help, decide, and maybe. Also to assist, to determine, perhaps. To help is a regular verb. To decide is also a regular verb. But decide, what is the difference between decide and help? Write it down, please. Difference between decide, the pronunciation of decide, and help in simple past and past participle. The same for to assist, to determine. Compare assist and determine, and tell me what is the sound for determine and also for assistant, but in past simple and in past participle, please. Also perhaps, that's another word, but that is not, I don't need you to do anything with perhaps. Let's go to these important verbs that I need you to include into your vocabulary now. Okay, so try to repeat, try to practice, and try to do them. So it's going to be facilitate, to facilitate, right? This is a regular verb, right? And what is the ending sound of facilitate for simple past and past participle? Write it down. To ascertain, to ascertain. Okay, regular verb, and let me know the pronunciation in simple past and past participle. Okay, for this one, to be inclined to be inclined to. All right, all right. What is the pronunciation of incline in simple past and also in past participle? All right, so let's go to this one. Um, I have five sentences that we're going to be repeating just once now, and then we're going to be repeating several times. First, we're going to be repeating once, and afterwards, we're going to be repeating it several times with different pronouns, subject pronouns. All right. So let's do this. I know you can. I know you can. I know you can do this. All right. So let's go. Very good. So can you help me with this? Can you help me with this? Can I help you with this? Okay, I committed a mistake. My fault. We need to determine the cause. I am inclined to agree with your proposal. This tool facilitates the learning process. We must ascertain the facts before acting. Very good. Now we're going to be starting to do it with different pronouns, and we're going to be like changing that in the sentence as we've been doing before. Can you help me with this? Can I help you with this? Can they help you with this? Can we help them with this? Can she help him with this? Can he help her with this? We need to determine the cause. We need to determine the cause. They need to determine the cause. She needs to determine the cause. He needs to determine the cause. We need to determine the cause. They need to determine the cause. I am inclined to agree with your proposal. I am inclined to agree with your proposal. I am inclined to agree with your proposal. She is inclined to agree with your proposal. He is inclined to agree with her proposal. They are inclined to agree with our proposal. You are inclined to agree with my proposal. These tools facilitate the learning process. We must ascertain the facts before acting. We must ascertain the facts before acting. They must ascertain the facts before acting. I must ascertain the facts before acting. You must ascertain the facts before acting. I must ascertain the facts before acting. You must ascertain the facts before acting. They must ascertain the facts before acting. You must ascertain the facts before acting. Now we're gonna have a conversation. The conversation is gonna be on this side. I don't know because this is my right. Probably it's my left now. All right. So I maintain that our institute needs a new digital approach. What do you think? Exactly. We must ascertain what the students really need. Very good. Very good with this conversation is a suggestion that you're giving me so that we can implement new tools in our institute. Thank you so much for your suggestion in this conversation, but we're going to be repeating the beginning of these sentences as we've been doing before. Okay, so I maintain that our institute needs a new digital approach. I maintain that our institute needs a new digital approach. You maintain that their institute need a new digital approach. They maintain that their institute needs a new digital approach. It is a fair point. We should facilitate better tools. They should facilitate better tools. I should facilitate better tools. We must ascertain what the students really need. They must ascertain what the students really need. She must ascertain what the students really need. I am inclined to suggest more interactive videos. You are inclined to suggest more interactive videos. They are inclined to suggest more interactive videos. All right, I was missing my part here. Brilliant. Let's reach a consensus on that. Brilliant. Let's reach a consensus on that. That part I missed, but I'm sorry, I missed that part. All right, so let's go to this quick questionnaire. This is the final. I think we're almost finishing, right? Yes, we're almost finishing. Difference between convince and persuade. What is the difference? I would like you to write down, okay, take your pen and your paper and please write down the difference between convince and persuade. Convince and persuade. Please, I would like you to tell me your own words. Don't look it up on Google or on the AI. Don't do that. Write it down from the top of your mind. So please, write it down, the difference. That's a homework. Put it as a homework and you're going to be sending it, taking a picture and also reading. You need to read that so that I can hear what you say about it. Let's go to question number 2. What does playing devil's advocate means? What does playing devil's advocate mean? What is the meaning of that? To play the devil's advocate. I would like to hear your words and also I would like to see what you write down in your own words. You can, if you don't know the term, it's not that you're compelled to not look it up on Google or anywhere else. You can do that, but try to have your own words and try to understand what is the meaning of it because it is meaningless if you just go ahead and put something that you saw on Google or on Gemini or on ChatGPT or any other, on other pages. So that's my recommendation. Let me know if you have any question. I'm here to answer your questions. I'm here to help you. All right. So I have another question for you. And can you replace think with a synonym? For example, I think this is wrong. All right. Can you tell me a synonym for I think this is wrong? Write it down and also read it, record yourself reading it, and take a picture together, with the other words that I've already given you, with the other questions. So don't forget to do that. Very good. So now number 4 is how do you pronounce ascertain? Ascertain. How do you pronounce that word? Now I would like you to go ahead and write it down and write down the pronunciation of that particular word, please. The question number 5 is write a sentence using exert influence. I would like you to write a sentence, not just one. Write down 3 sentences with exert influence. Please write down questions with exert influence. All right. And also, what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you this final assessment. The final assessment is going to contain all the words that I have already mentioned. So you need to concentrate, don't use any tool. Be sincere to yourself, because this final assessment is going to be something that I'm going to take into account in order for us to level up our English. And also, I'm going to give you another test. I'm going to give you another test, but I want to see watching this video. I greatly appreciate that you are there, and I'm going to be, switching over to live. I'm going to be asking you questions, and I'm going to be telling you a lot in order to help you, because I want to help you and I want you to understand every sentence and every word here. I just don't want, I don't want to give you just class and that's it. I want you to understand everything. Thank you very much for attending class, and I wish you to have a great rest of your day or night or whatever the time it is. Thank you. Goodbye. Finito.